Vote on the offer on Wednesday. Both sides are predicting a return to work. The weather forecast: cloudy weather with outbreaks of rain will move away eastwards, allowing brighter, colder weather to spread across the whole of Britain this evening and tonight. Our next news is at 8 o'clock.
Entertainment Radio 2.
And talking about entertainment, there's a lot of very good music coming up this evening. At 10:30, we'll be moving into the world of films, when Nick Jackson plays requests for soundtrack music. But much closer to hand in every way, with a special edition of the Dance Band Days, is Alan Dell.
Hello again. This evening, we spend our Dance Band Days time recalling a small selection from the recording career of the late Harry Leader, which extended over some 40 years, and which began in May 1933 with this record. This was one of the popular songs of 1933, Something Came and Got Me in the Spring, which Harry Leader recorded for a subsidiary label of the Decca record company, Panaccord. It was, in effect, a trial record, an audition. On the day, May the 29th, 1933, the band cut two titles, this one and I Lay Me Down to Sleep, which, for one reason or another, was never issued. But this song, with its vocal chorus by Bill Airey-Smith, was well received. The melody maker apparently hailing this as a new American band.
Something came and got me in the spring, and when I see a clinging vine I feel I want to cling. There's something in the atmosphere that makes me want to sing. Something came and got me in the spring. Through the day I'm acting like a goof. The neighbors say I'm crazy but they haven't any proof. I'm sitting in a cellar but my mind is on the roof. Something came and got me in the spring. I can hear my heart tick-tacking and I wonder what is what. Feeling so romantic, picking petals, asking daisies what I've got. Dizzy as a monkey on a string. I'm up and down because I found the sweetest little thing. She's even got me so I made a payment on a ring. Something came and got me in the spring.
How this first record by Harry Leader came about is an interesting tale which is told in the Harry Leader Story, a private recording recently prepared by Chris Hayes, formerly with the Melody Maker, and read by John Henty, a friend of Harry Leader and his wife Rona, and a broadcaster on Radio Sussex. It appears that sometime earlier, Harry had been approached by the brother of the well-known Sid Phillips because they were looking for someone to take over the leadership of Sid's orchestra, the Melodians. So, because Sid, in fact, had just accepted a position with the Lawrence Wright Publishing Company. Like Sid, Harry was a clarinetist, saxophonist, and he auditioned with others, and he got the job, which was a tour of Italy. Well, while the band was playing at a nightclub in Rome, that a talent scout came along from the Decca record company. And, of course, you know what happened. He liked what he heard, didn't he? One of the factors that contributed to the success of that first record was Harry Leader's friendship with the man named Wally Moody, manager of a cycle company near Liverpool Street Station. Wally Moody took 500 copies of the record, and with the help of a market trader that they both knew, sold the lot. And this encouraged Decca to give Harry Leader a further session. Wally Moody was to play an important part in Harry Leader's future, particularly when he moved from selling cycles to become a record manager with EMI at the time when all the different record labels were separately controlled. First, Wally Moody helped move Harry to the broadcast label. That was in the autumn of 1933. One of the first two titles recorded for broadcast was this one, Swingy Little Thingy, which was very much that, in the style of the time. And I guess that the short clarinet solo, which is coming up very soon, was played by Harry. time with broadcast records was short, only 2 sessions, for Wally Moody suggested that Harry should record for the smaller 8-inch Eclipse label, where he was likely to have a larger turnover because of their cheaper price. Harry at first demurred, but eventually agreed, and in fact began recording for Eclipse while still under contract to broadcast by using the fictitious name of Joe Taub and his Melodians. Between the beginning of November 1933 and the end of June 1935, a span of some 20 months, Harry Leader recorded under his own name nearly 130 titles for Eclipse. That is according to a most helpful discography prepared by Alistair Fenton and kindly passed on to me by Rona. Well, that's some output by any band standards. And those titles were an enormous hit. Certainly one of them was for Harry. The quoted sales figure is around 375,000 copies, and it was one of the most popular songs of 1934.
Little man, you're crying, I know why you're blue. Someone took your kitty car away. Better go to sleep now, little man, you've had a busy day. Johnny won your marble, tell you what we'll do. Dad'll get you new ones right away. Better go to sleep now, little man, you've had a busy day. You've been playing soldiers, the battle has been won. The enemy is out of sight. Come along there, soldier, put away your gun. The war is over for tonight. Time to stop your scheming, time your day was through. Can't you hear the bugle softly say? Time you should be dreaming, little man, you've had a busy day.
Much discussion has raged over the identity of the vocalist on Harry's recording of Little Man, You've Had a Busy Day. At first, it was thought to be Eve Beck. Then, the generally accepted view was that it was Kitty Masters, who went on to record it with Henry Hall. But in fact, Kitty Masters recorded it first with Henry Hall nearly 2 weeks before the Harry Leader record. Still, vocalists in those days often recorded the same song with different bands. Both Al Bowley and Sam Brown did it constantly. Now I understand from those much more adept at identifying vocalists than I am that the lady is more likely to be Dawn Davis. Well, I bow out of the controversy, but can tell you that many famous singers were hired by Harry for his recordings. Dan Donovan is on the other side of Little Man, and on this next record, the vocalist is Les Allen, who also had a great hit, of course, with The Little Man, but here is to be heard in a record asked for by Flight Lieutenant Bob Walker of Redruth in Cornwall, who actually, from memory, wrote out the top line of the introduction to The Breeze.
And when the salty wind is blowing from the sea, I pretend that it's the breeze that's filling the sail, that's moving the ship, that's bringing my honey back to me. I always keep my window open wide. I like to let the friendly breeze come right inside, and pretend that it's the breeze that's filling the sail, that's moving the ship, that's bringing my honey back to me. Mr. Wind, keep blowing stronger, 'cause I must have that gal of mine. Every day seems so much longer. Don't forget it's daylight saving time. I get so lonesome waiting days and weeks, but every breath of air that lingers on my cheeks seems to whisper it's the breeze that's filling the sail, that's moving the ship, that's bringing my honey back to me.
Breeze with the voice of Les Allen. The eclipse period over, Harry, no doubt aided by Wally Moody, moved to the much more prestigious Columbia label and later Regal Zonophone, and produced in early 1936 one of his best records in my book, with the aid of musicians like trumpeter Billy Farrell, trombonist George Chisholm, Oscar Grasso on tenor sax as opposed to his usual violin, also Norrie Paramore on piano, Harry on alto, of course, and a lady believed by some to be Jessie Robbins singing My Sweetie Went Away.
He didn't say why, or bid me goodbye. Oh, I'm as blue as can be. I know he loves another one, but didn't say who. He didn't say which, he didn't say what this baby had got that took my sweetie from me. Oh, I'm like a little lost sheep, and I can't sleep 'cause I'm trying to forget this trifling pauper's left his mama all alone. Oh, my sweetie went away, but he didn't say where. He didn't say when, he didn't say why. I know that I'll die, he don't hurry back home.
Leader deserves our heartfelt thanks for opening the door to fame for two of Britain's most highly regarded vocalists. In late 1935, it was Chick Henderson. He recorded with Harry, then went on to Joe Loss, but returned on many occasions in later years to the man who had given his career its first boost, as here, in this title, from 1937.
Looking around corners for you, I'm a fool, but what can I do? Ever since the day you went, I'm wondering the way you went, looking around corners for you. Looking around corners for you, hoping that you'll come into view. Searching for a trace of you to see that lovely face of you, looking around corners for you. I think I'll tell the missing person bureau, you're a person that I'm missing so. Why must I weep on the pillow I sleep on? Tell me, my darling, how long must I keep on looking around corners for you? It's raining, all the skies above are blue, and the sun ain't gonna shine again until you say you're mine again. Looking around corners, looking in windows, searching, waiting, hopeless, helpless, looking around corners for you.
Henderson with Harry Leader, who also made use of the vocal services of Sam Coster and later Gloria Brent and Eric Whitley, and in the 1940s Helen Clare and Jean Crowley, among others. But that record of Looking Around Corners for You reminds us of one of Harry's most advantageous activities, his use of different names for various recording purposes. That Chick Henderson record was made under the name of Wally Bishop, a nom de plume used by others on the Regal Zonophone label, George Scott Wood for one. But Harry, as listed by Alistair Fenton, hid behind other names like the Coral Islanders, the International Novelty Orchestra, and Henry Jakes and his strict dance tempo orchestra. Leader as Henry Jakes and his strict dance tempo orchestra, and his August 1938 recording of Music Maestro Please, which will have a special significance for all followers of the Harry Leader Band. He adopted it as his signature tune, although strangely he never recorded it in full with his regular orchestra, only occasionally quoting a measure as a bridge into a vocal chorus of some song. Harry's work outside the recording studios, his broadcasting career, and the venues that he played at and the tours he undertook are really another long chapter. Let me just recall two important engagements. In 1939, he took a band into the Hammersmith Palais, playing opposite Oscar Raven and eventually succeeding him as number one band when Oscar left to tour. And that was followed by a long residence, some 14 or so years, at the Astoria Charing Cross Road, and after that, the Regent Ballroom in Brighton. I mentioned earlier that Harry Leader helped launch two singers. Chick Henderson was one. The other was during the time that Harry was at the Astoria and Charing Cross Road. He had a tip-off that he should make a point of hearing a singer who was appearing on the night that Harry Leader first got to hear him at the Hornsey Town Hall. One listen was enough, and Harry arranged to record this singing lorry driver named Terry Parsons. Except for the session in 1955, Harry changed his name from Terry Parsons to Al Jordan, but later that got changed again to Matt Monro. That first record was made by a short-lived company called Solitaire for Macy's store in New York, and it's today a very rare record. But Harry's wife, Rona, preserved a copy. A little worn after all these years, I'm afraid, but well worth your interest.
Strange lady in town, strange lady in town. She's all that any man could ever hope and pray for. If I were king, I'd trade my crown for that strange, strange lady in town. Oh, heart of mine, you're in danger. There's a strange lady in town. Who is this heart-stealing stranger who is turning the town upside down? Her hair is red as the setting sun. Her lips are ripe as the corn. The lights that rise in her sea green eyes make a man kind of glad he was born. Strange lady in town, strange lady in town. She's all that any man could ever hope and pray for. If I were king, I'd trade my crown for that strange, strange lady in town. Strange lady in town, strange lady in town. She's all that any man could ever hope and pray for. If I were king, I'd trade my crown for that strange, strange lady, that strange, strange lady in town.
Matt Monro and his very rare recording with Harry Leader of a 1955 film song, Strange Lady in Town. I have many others of Harry's records here that I would love to have included in this small tribute. Even the album that he recorded for dancing in 1972, but they'll have to be put by for another occasion, and I've no doubt there'll be many of those. Finally, his music on the upbeat. Well, I guess that was Harry Leader's aim always, to entertain and make dancers and listeners happy. I had a note from Mrs. Pat Saville of Botsford, is it, or Bottersford, in Notts, whose husband, Tom Saville, played piano for Harry in the 1940s and composed several pieces for the band. Probably the best known, and others have mentioned this title as well, was recorded in April 1945. It's 8 to the bar, and it's called Southpaw Special. Southpaw Special. And so we end this brief tribute to another of our best-known band leaders, sadly lost to us last month, Harry Leader. On behalf of his many fans, I send condolences to his family, and as I said, I know there will be many more occasions when Harry's music, from his early recordings of the 30s to the different styles of the 40s, will find places in these dance band days. Now, this evening, we only have the next half hour or so at our disposal, because after the news at 8, the following hours devoted to the National Rehearsal Band Competition Finals Concert. So I've mixed the ingredients a little in this section, mono first and then stereo, and we begin in the 1950s with an old friend.